The outcome to Law versus Kid is very obvious. These two men are characters who are said to be rivals to Luffy, and they are both incredibly powerful in their own right. Law, for example, has one of the most powerful devil fruits, and what he's able to do with it seems to be pretty boundless. When it comes to the Op fruit, this is not a power that anyone can pick up and use casually. This is quite literally the definition of a tactical weapon. It takes years of extensive usage and studying to even get a proper grasp on how this ability functions. Naturally, Law has had the Op fruit since he was a child, and what he's able to do with this power reflects that. The core aspect of Law's devil fruit power is his ability to create an area of influence called room. Within this space, Law can control and manipulate objects and people at will, which is just wild, by the way. The spatial manipulation prowess of the Op fruit allows Law to disassemble and reassemble objects, exchange positions, and even separate body parts. The unique surgical capabilities granted by the Op fruit make Law an exceptional combatant and one hell of an ally. With this power, Law can also perform complex operations within his room, like healing wounds, curing diseases, and even conducting intricate modifications on himself or others. One of the signature techniques derived from Law's devil fruit power is shambles. Through this ability, Law can switch the positions of multiple objects or people in an instant within his room, which often confuses enemies. He's able to reposition allies strategically and disrupt enemy formations as well. On top of this, Law can perform other devastating attacks like the Tact and the Gamma Knife, further highlighting the versatility and destructive potential of his powers. Not only that, but Law's Devil Fruit Awakening comes with a host of offensive capabilities as well. In the fight against Big Mom, we see Law use his Chrome ability. It's basically a miniature room, but the difference is, anything Law coats in chrome, he basically has a free reign to manipulate. However, this technique alongside the anesthesia power are a deadly combo. Law can extend his sword however long, by using Puncture Veil and send lethal shockwaves from the inside out via Shock Veil. The guy was able to send his sword all the way from Onigashima to the Wano mainland and through the ground. That's an insane feat, but this is the same guy who sliced a mountain clean in half back in Punk Hazard, so it's not exactly surprising. If we use the fight with Blackbeard as a reference, Law's technical advantage more than makes up for any physical shortcomings he might have. So despite Law not being particularly gifted in either form of hockey, having a devil fruit of this caliber and the intellect to go with it makes Law a tricky opponent for anyone who faces him really. Which brings us to Eustass Kid. The Magnet fruit is a much simpler power than Law's. Kid's devil fruit blesses him with the extraordinary ability to manipulate magnetism. This power enables him to control metal objects at will basically. By creating magnetic fields, Kid can attract, repel, and even reshape metallic substances with astounding precision. This dominion over magnetism makes him a formidable adversary and a significant force to be reckoned with in the world of One Piece. Kid's mastery over magnetism means he can manipulate metal to suit his needs. He can control the movement and trajectory of metallic projectiles, redirecting them towards his enemies or utilizing them for defense. Kid can also assemble all sorts of different metals into powerful weapons, increasing his combat effectiveness. I think Kid gets slept on a lot when it comes to just how strong he really is. No matter how big you are, being slammed with tons of metal hurts. We gotta acknowledge Eustass Kid's prowess to construct all sorts of things on the fly, within seconds. The Damned Punk is the best example of this. It's crazy that this guy can build a functional and powerful railgun in a moment's notice, and it was enough to push the invincible Big Mom. Like Law, Kid also possesses quite the Devil Fruit Awakening, as it allows him to place magnetic fields onto anything, including living creatures. This means unless you somehow have the hockey to overpower it, which not even Big Mom had, when battling Eustass Kid, you're liable to become a walking magnet. We know that Kid is also a user of Conqueror's Haki. It doesn't seem he's too proficient in it, as we haven't seen any usage of the color of the Supreme King from him, but just possessing this form of Haki alone is impressive, as it means Kid has some kind of latent potential. Whether or not this potential manifests, that depends entirely on what becomes of the Eustass Kid character down the line. So if it were to come down to a clean one-on-one battle without the influence of the crews or outside circumstances, I say Law emerges a victor against Kid, but it would by no means be an easy battle. Law has to worry about the explosive and unorthodox offense of Eustass' Kid, especially if the latter has access to an abundance of metals. Law has the tactical advantage, no doubt. This means he's able to come up with a quick plan to counter Kid's offense and put it into motion in no time flat. Abilities such as Shambles put Kid in a tricky spot, and unless he's able to quickly incapacitate Law, there's just too much room for Law to act. Kid definitely has Law beat as far as raw offensive power goes, but Law's Devil Fruit abilities are so disgustingly broken. His bag of tricks goes deep. When you see what Law had up his sleeve against past opponents, it makes you wonder exactly how much of that can Kid withstand before he's defeated. This is a man who has put the fear of God into Big Mom on multiple occasions and even had Kaido expressing frustration with how annoying his powers are. Law versus Kid would be an exciting combination of powers to watch clash against one another, and I can easily see this duel being an exhausting one for both. Law and Kid are top tiers no matter how you try and slice it. These are two men who took an Emperor of the Sea to her very limit and defeated her. That's huge stuff, bro. Sure, they aren't as strong as Luffy is, but Luffy at 19 years old is very special to say the least. But I legitimately think at this stage, if you put Kid or Law against any non-Admiral or non-Yonko character 1v1, they've got a great chance of winning. These guys are monsters and deserve to be recognized as such just as much as Luffy does. Not every top tier character has to be capable of defeating an Emperor by themselves to be considered a mighty force. Not everyone can take down a Kaido by themselves, and that's fine. You need characters to fight the kings, the Shiryus, the queens, the Katakuris, and the Marcos of the One Piece world. That is where Kid and Law come in, and that's not a bad role to be in any story. That being said, in my expert opinion, the W does in fact go to one Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, and it is as simple as that. The outcome couldn't be any more obvious.